Hey, this is Doug with Design 8 Studio. A while back, I designed and built my own easy, cheap, fast DIY router table, and I designed a 3D printed plastic dust collection that accommodates two different type of hose fittings with an adapter. And of course, built the fence and got the router table all set up. But at that point, I was only capturing dust from the top side of the router table. Here are a few photos of that top side dust collection being printed and getting it assembled and put in place. But in using the new router table, I realized that there was a lot of dust piling up down underneath it, and I wanted to get some dust collection for the underside. So I designed and 3D printed a dust collection. I know you can buy these, but the ones that you buy are for very small hoses. And I wanted a nice big hose because my system is set up for 2.5-inch shop vac hoses. So here are some shots of me printing it, and I got it installed. It's working great, and the dust collection power is just amazing. I've got practically zero dust escaping. It attaches to the Makita compact router in the same way that their factory-made dust collection, dust extractor shield would attach. There's a little nub on one side and a screw hole on the other side that corresponds with an M4 screw on the fixed base. Here you can see me taking the tree style supports out, and it took just a little bit of effort to get the bottom side cleaned up, but that bottom side that was down on the printer bed becomes the top side when you mount it upside down on the fixed base for the compact router. And so it's particularly important to get that cleaned up because a 2.5-inch hose, accommodating a 2.5-inch hose, is really tough on a compact router when the space is this tight. It's important to get it cleaned up really well. And in fact, after I got the supports broken off with the help of various pliers and chisels and so forth, I eventually then took a hot soldering iron and gently rubbed it over the edges and over the underside to smooth it down a little bit and shape it just a little bit to get it to fit perfectly. And you'll see later in the video that I'm using an adapter that came with my shop vac hose that tapers down on the end, and that adapter's end is a little bit smaller than the full 2.5 inches, and it's made to slip inside the end of this dust extraction part. Both it and this dust extraction part are tapered, and that makes for a nice press fit, and so you'll see that here later in the video. And I wanted to go ahead and show you the difficulty of getting the supports off whenever you've printed something that has to sit up off the print bed a little bit and needs some supports under there so it gets printed. Then this is just nature of the beast. This is just what it looks like. But it was worth it to me. I despise designs that require supports, and I almost always am able to design in a way that no supports are required. This was the rare exception to that, but because of the way this part needed to be designed, there just really was no choice. And so all in all, it wasn't horrible. You can see me there getting the other side of the tree supports out. And so I'll go ahead and stop talking now and just let you watch the rest of it. Later on in the video, I do narrate a little bit and explain a little bit. Okay, the right thread is M4. This screw is too long, but it's the shortest one I can find right now. And obviously, it's okay for screws to stick in here beyond that inside wall, because they're already doing that with these other attachments. Because my shop vac is a 2.5 inch hose, I've got to basically max out the amount of available space here. There's a nub on one side, a screw hole on the other. The nub lines up with this hole, goes into that. And then the other side swings around and lines up with this screw hole here. Again, that's M4. If I had a third hand, I'd be doing good. I've got it started. And there we have it. Everything functions, but as you can see, I had to get pretty close to the biggest outlet that I could squeeze in there. This is made for my shop vac hose adapter end to squeeze inside this end. So if you're not looking for that kind of fit, you could remix this. All right, I'm going to go put this back onto the router table and get it hooked up and ready to go. So I've got it all hooked up. I've actually got two dust collection hoses, one going to the top, one going to the underside. And I just did a test cut, and its dust capturing capabilities are truly impressive with this setup. I did some routing, basically routed a rabbit into some wood and got practically zero dust. It is made to go with this type of connector, which is a tapered connector. These came stock with my VacMaster shop vac. This particular thing tapers itself. It starts at 58.5 at the back end, and it tapers down to about 57 at the front end. So it's got about 1.5 millimeters of taper, and this is made to be a press fit into what I created. And the only other thing I would mention is that if you put it on a router table that has a thick tabletop, then if the disparity between the bottom side of your router plate and the bottom side of the router table is too great, then you may have to pocket out a little area where it goes, because this is just about the absolute max, a 2.5 inch. To be able to accommodate a 2.5 inch vac hose is really right at the absolute max of what this particular Makita router fixed base rig can accommodate. And so I did have to pocket out just a little bit in order to get it to fit up in there. I hope this is a blessing to you if you have a router table with a Makita compact router in it. And if you do make this and use it, please post your make. Hi, this is Doug Joseph with Design 8 Studio. If you like our content, please click like and subscribe. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm. And until the next video, I wish you happy making.